Welcome to Midfield SportsCast.
And our 8th episode of the Divided Friendship Podcast. This week, once again, it is me, Maddyx. It is Dawson. It is Luke. Quentin, unable to be here. Next week, Quentin will be here. Topics for today. What we got, Philly? We'll run down the topic stuff.
So basically today, we got the Week 3 recap and review, Week 4 game predictions, top 5 games, upset of the week prediction, and Ohio State and Michigan recap and preview for next week.
So, kind of the same thing we did last week. We're just going to run down Week 3, talk about the other games besides our top 5 games, and while doing that, we will slowly get through our top 5 games. So, let's head to our ESPN apps and start with the Week 3 review.
Luke, I'm going to let you start this one.
All right.
What do you want to talk about?
All right, let me start with what game I found most entertaining. Well, at least the end. Florida versus Tennessee. Florida came out in the swamp and they were ready to play, and it showed. They were able to beat Tennessee 29-16, but one thing at the end of the game.
It is out my nose.
Oh my gosh. This guy.
I spit blue glue all over my sweatshirt.
Oh my.
I looked over and Body Armor was just pouring out of his nose. Alright, Luke, go.
Alright. Tennessee and Florida. Florida came out in the swamp, played really well. At the end, there was one last play. 4th down. Florida went for it just so they could run down the clock, had the quarterback run around, took a knee. But a late hit from Tennessee, and there was fights. And I don't mean like just shoving and trash. I mean, they were squaring up. Like J-Ram and Tim Anderson. Dude. This was serious. They were squaring up.
It got broken up pretty quickly, but they were. One guy put his hands up. They were ready to.
Yeah,
they were ready to go.
Yeah. Obviously, Joe Milton said he was ready for Florida. He didn't think that they were gonna lose to Florida. And that's not saying he had a bad performance. 20 for 34, 287 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, only a pick. Graham Heismert, on the other hand, 19 for 24.
Absolutely no way you just said that. They're going to be in your top 10 this week? I bet they are after that upset. Yeah. If you don't know, you should know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's all I got for this game. Y'all got anything?
This is a game I did not expect to go Florida's way. I expected Tennessee to go in there and handle business in the swamp. Not the second half was. I don't know how Luke finds it the most entertaining. That second half was so freaking boring. They threw it a total of 4 times. Graham Mertz did in the second half. Completed 2 of those 4 passes. He had some problems with both hands, cuts, and I don't know what else happened to his other hand, but he had taped up. He had a glove on. It was just an ugly game, and we'll talk about another ugly game here in a little bit.
You see, what I want to talk about, obviously we'll get to the Colorado game, we'll get to the big games like that. I want to talk about the game between number 15 Kansas State and Missouri. I mean, what a great game all the way through. Very competitive. Will Howard, he was getting pressure brought at him all game long. 25 for 39, 270, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Yeah, he needs to. There was a few passes that could have gone Missouri's way from him. I think he just needs to slow down, make better reads. He'll be fine. Treshaun Ward, 10 carries, 54 yards. Ben Sinnott, the fullback, 5 receptions, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then on the Missouri side of the ball, Brady Cook, great performance from him. He got hurt early on in the game, in the second quarter, I do believe. Brady Cook, good performance. 356 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also had a rushing touchdown. The person that really stole the show in this game, though, Luther Burden III. He was a former top recruit coming out of high school, decided to go to Missouri, which I believe was staying in his home state.
Number
he had
2 receiver in 24/7 Sports for his year.
He might have been one, I'm not going to lie.
It was the Texas guy.
Texas guy.
Texas A&M.
Evan Stewart.
Yeah, that guy. He was one.
7 catches, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. What really stood out for him, though, was his yards after the catch. I think it said he had 70-something yards after the catch in that game, which that's over half of his yards after he caught it. So that's really impressive. I mean, 61 yards to win the game. Dang it! Anyways, 61-yard field goal to win the game. I did not think that was going in. I was watching it, and I really did not think that had a chance of going in. 61 is really far. Some NFL kickers can't hit that. But Missouri's kicker, he did. He stepped up. Big kick right there. I do believe he missed a 53-yarder.
Big kicker. That guy was, 240, I think?
I don't know.
He's a big guy.
But it was a really good game to watch. I think I watched the whole game. That's all I have to say about that one.
Moving on to the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I don't even want to talk about that.
What a freaking poop show.
What a poop show indeed.
They come out here.
What was that?
What was what?
That performance.
They come out here and they say, we're not going to start Jalen Milroe. They're going to start Tyler Buckner. 5 for 14 for 34 yards. Then they bench Buckner. It's 3-3 at halftime. It's a stormy game. They've already went through a delay. Then they come out. Ty Simpson, the 5-star recruit, redshirt freshman, 5 for 9, 73 yards. Simpson had a 21.5 QBR and Buckner had a 15.2. Then you would think maybe if they couldn't. Well, they had an alright rushing performance. You have Roydell Williams with 17 carries, 129 yards and touchdown, and McClellan with 13 carries, 74 yards. But overall, receiving, I mean, nothing crazy. You have nothing crazy, definitely nothing crazy. Passing, and South Florida stayed in this game. They stayed in the game all the way down to the fourth quarter. It was a lot closer than 17-3. I mean, this game was down to the wire. And the thing is, South Florida played horrible on offense.
They did. Other than the
Defensively,
rushing game, their rushing was pretty solid.
23 carries, 92 yards for Brown, and 15 carries, 62 yards for Wright. Like I said, just an ugly game. The storm didn't help at all. That delay, the rain delay. It was wet. They were running the ball. No one could really pass it very good at all. 17-3 is your final, and Alabama is definitely going to drop pretty far in my rankings next week or this week when I do my top 25, because that's not a top 10 team right there. Playing South Florida and winning 17-3, I can't say that is a top 10 team, and that is the most ugly performance Alabama has ever had since I have been into college football.
You see, I'm not really sure how far I can drop them because I already have them at 14.
Yeah, I had them at 9 or 10. 10, I had 10.
I haven't been very high on
Maybe
Bama.
9. I don't remember.
In preseason, I had them 8 or 9.
I had them 9. Not preseason, this week.
Yeah, I had them preseason low.
Yeah.
Honestly, might have been too high. I didn't eat too. Another game that was huge. Colorado State. That one was not supposed to be a good game. I do believe Colorado was favored by 27 points. But Colorado State came out there and they played hard. It looked like they wanted it more. And I think that the hit on Travis Hunter really lit a fire into them. I think it gave them some juice that they didn't have at the start of the game. And there was just fights not necessarily fights, but there was pushing and shoving after almost every play. It was really madness. Shedeur Sanders, what a performance. 38 for 47, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. And that pick really wasn't even his fault, right off the receiver's hands. Colorado State's quarterback, Braden Fowler, Nick Nicosi, 34 for 47, 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Torrey Horton went 1 for 1, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Just a really shocking performance by Colorado State. They had 2 receivers with over 10 receptions, and they had 3 with over 100 yards. They were just really torching in the pass game. And then some of our games of the week that we had, those were also good games.
Okay, before we move on, I want to talk about, this isn't a crazy big upset, but this is mainly intended for Maddyx right here. South Alabama with a big win over Oklahoma State, 33-7. What a performance from South Alabama. I bet RBT is somewhere out there very happy. Very happy. I don't matter. Anyways, Oklahoma State gotta get better if you want to meet Maddox's expectations of 9-3. That was not a very 9-3 looking team.
Hold up. Aren't you the guy that said Vanderbilt was going to make a run at the SEC title?
I did say that.
Aren't you the guy that put Florida as number 10 in your top 25?
I did say that.
Aren't you the guy that copied Philly's answer with Oregon?
No, I did not do that. I didn't do that. Aren't you the guy that said Oklahoma State's going to go 9-3 even though they just lost 33-7 at South Alabama?
What's the record right now? 2-1.
What's whose record? Oklahoma State?
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1, yeah. They just lost the freaking...
They got 2 more losses to go.
Okay, this guy. Anyways, now we can move on. That's all I gotta say.
Is that all the games we're talking about this week?
I mean, we go through these.
Let's move on to Washington and Michigan State. I honestly didn't think it was gonna be the close game. I put down last week, like when we did the prediction thing, 38-21, but I didn't. I kind of wanted that point total to be right. I didn't want the correct score is hard to get. None of us have got it yet, or total points. But I was looking for that total points thing. I didn't get it. It was an absolute blowout. Penix played.
Penix.
No, Penix had a masterclass game once again. Maybe the front runner for the Heisman right now, in my opinion. He might be my front runner for the Heisman. I'm gonna have to think that through about the Heisman, but continuing on, just a blowout. Michigan State looked horrible. Gave up the most yards total they have in the history of their program. Anybody else got anything to add?
The other games on our list weren't really huge, like James Madison and Troy, Pitt, West Virginia.
Yeah, there's not really much else to talk about.
Kansas State, Missouri, kind of already touched on that. BYU and Arkansas, though. That was I think it was 24-21 at halftime. So, scoring was kind of high in that game. Wasn't expecting that high of a score. Good game, though, between the two teams. Arkansas ended up falling by 7, 38-31 final. That's about all.
Hold up. We ain't gonna go past this. What about the number 20? Oh, whoa. The number 1 team in the nation struggling a bit this week. South Carolina. Came out in the second half, though, after being down. At halftime, down 14-3. They come back out, and they held Rattler down, didn't let him throw the ball as good as he was in the first half. And they came out, and they won. I really wanted that upset for South Carolina. I'm sure Philly did with Spencer Rattler. But
Spencer.
They didn't get it done. But this just shows this year is wide open. Philly said it to me earlier. He brought this point up. You want to talk about that a little bit? Yeah.
Sure, man. I was saying to him earlier that any team can win the national championship this year. Like last year, Georgia was heavy favorites. The year before that, Bama was heavy favorites. And they made it to the national championship. They didn't win it. Normally, we see teams are really heavily favored, but right now, it looks like there's not a team that can just pull away from the pack
Okay,
and
hold
can
on.
separate themselves.
Hold on. I know we're already past this, but I forgot to touch on this.
Are you serious?
Sacramento
Oh my gosh.
upset Stanford.
Why ain't nobody care about Stanford?
I don't care. I don't. It could be the worst FBS school, and they would lose to the best FCS school, and I'd still go crazy. How do you choke to Sacramento, dude? Okay, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just sad. It's just sad.
They're not like the Pickles.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
As I was saying before,
Also
we
not like
decided
the
to talk
Hawaii
about
Empire.
Sacramento.
Also not like the Hawaii Empire.
Like Georgia, they're the number one team. They didn't really look dominant. Michigan, the number 2 team, they didn't really look dominant. Florida State, number 3, struggled against Boston College. We didn't talk about that one. We probably should have. They were up 31-10 late in the third quarter and only end up winning by 2 points. It was really shocking to me.
Yeah.
Texas even.
Gotta
Number
learn how to
4
close
team.
out those games.
They were tied at 10 going in the fourth. They did outscore Wyoming 21-0 in the last quarter, but tied at 10 with Wyoming in the fourth. I mean, it's just there's not a clear favorite for the national championship this year.
Last year, the entire season, everyone was saying Georgia, 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 which ended up being right. This year, beginning of the year, everyone was saying Georgia, Georgia, Georgia again. I don't see that anymore. I think the pack's pretty even. Ohio State, big win this week. Not a big win. A big win points-wise, not a big win. We didn't play a good team at all. We'll talk about that later when we get into our review, but you want to go through our Week 4 predictions now?
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Week 4 predictions!
This is my favorite part of the podcast. I'm not even going to lie.
It's pretty fun.
You wanna update them on the point totals right now?
All right, point total this week. Gaining a total of 9 points, doubling his points total. He had 9 points total last week. He gained 9 just this week alone, putting him up to 18 points. In first place is Philly. Tied in first place with Luke, who also has 18 points. So they're tied in first. In second, you have DQ, or Quentin, who hasn't been on the podcast yet, but he will be here next week, with 11 points. And in last place, me with 10 points. We thought Luke might be pulling away, but Philly come right back with an upset pick. Gets his 5 points and ties Luke.
I mean, that's huge. The +5 off the unranked versus ranked upsets are huge.
Not going to get any of those this week because every single top 5 game is a ranked versus ranked matchup, as Week 4 is the best slate by far. We just made a change here on the podcast, live on set, for our point totals, because we just noticed that we're having top 5 matchups, which means we're not going to have ranked versus unranked games on here often. So 1 point now is correct winner, stays the same. 2 points is now correct score or points. Nobody's gotten that yet, either of those, because they used to be separate. Now we combine them. If you get the correct score or the correct total points, you get 2 points. 3 is if we have a ranked versus ranked matchup, which every single game this week is, and you predict a lower ranked team to beat a ranked team, and it actually occurs, then you get 3 points. 4 points is correct overtime prediction, and 5 points is a ranked versus unranked upset.
All right, on to the first game of this week. We will head down to Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa.
What the freak, man?
I'm on something today. We will head down to Tuscaloosa, where number 17 Ole Miss will travel to play the Alabama Crimson Tide.
See, I'm going to make a point before we do these predictions. I think the Alabama faithful is angry. And when Ohio State fans got angry 2 years ago when we played Oregon and lost week 2, 20,000 fans that bought tickets did not show. I think this stadium is not going to be full for a ranked versus ranked game. And that leads me into my pick, because I want to go first. I have the Ole Miss Rebels winning. Ole Miss, they win 38-35.
Okay.
Who wants to go second?
Luke does.
Me. All right. Obviously, it's going to be a good game, like all these other games on the list. But despite Alabama coming off a tough performance against USF, and honestly back-to-back tough performances against USF and against Texas, I think that the Crimson Tide are going to be able to escape this one over Ole Miss with a win. Give me the Crimson Tide in a close matchup. I'm going to go Alabama 27-20.
Now, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm on crack today.
You've been zoning out over there.
Anyways, with the health of Quinshon Judkins up in the air for this game, I don't know if Ole Miss can pull it off. But then again, I don't know if Alabama has a quarterback. So, I'm actually going to take Ole Miss on this one. By
When
a good
did
bit.
Judkins get hurt?
He wasn't. I don't think he played last week. I'm going to go Ole Miss 24-13.
24-13.
That's a good spread of points. Next up, we got number 24 UCLA at number 12 Utah. My Pat? What's your pick?
UCLA at Utah. All right. With us not knowing if Cam Rising will be back yet, because I don't think he was back last week, was he?
I'm not sure.
Let me check. He doesn't want to look like a freaking idiot.
No, he has not played this season.
I got Utah. Actually, I'm going the Bruins. UCLA. They beat Utah. Freaking, I'm an idiot. I got Utah beating UCLA. I think being at home is the difference in this one. I got the Utes winning 24-17.
Luke?
I don't think Utah has looked too great this season. Anyways, I don't think they've looked great. I don't think they've looked great, but then again,
He doesn't think
they're
they
playing
look
with the
great.
backup quarterback. If you would have let me get there, they are playing with a backup quarterback, so can't be too harsh on them. But I do think, despite Utah having the home advantage here, I think that UCLA is going to pull away with this win at Utah. Give me the Bruins. Let's go 28-24. 28-24.
All right. And I think that UCLA will win this one too. I think Dante Moore is the X factor of this game. He's got to play well for UCLA to be able to go into Utah and win this one. I'm going to take the Bruins 37-29. All right, next game we got.
Was Dante Moore supposed to be the starter the whole time?
Nope.
I know they started that other guy, but I didn't know if people really thought.
Nope, it was supposed to be Ethan Garbers.
I know that they said that was their starter, but I didn't know if people really thought he was going to start the whole year, if Dante was going to eventually take over.
Well, I don't know what people thought either.
I don't either, because I'm not people.
Exactly. All right, next game we got.
You said 37-29?
Yeah. We got number 16, Oregon State, against number 23, Washington State. My Pat?
All right.
What the cornball?
I'm going with Washington State. a lower ranked team beating a higher ranked team. Gonna get me them points, I hope. I got Washington State winning 36-30.
In my pick, I'm going to go with the Beavers. I'm going to take them winning over Washington State. I don't think that Washington State is ready for some really good teams. I mean, they played Wisconsin, they got that win there, but I don't think they're truly ready. I think that was probably their best performance that they will have all season. I'm going to go with the Beavers winning this one by a pretty good margin. I think I'm going to take the Beavers 38-21.
I just changed my mind like 5 times while you two were talking.
Okay.
I'm going with Oregon State. This is the 3rd straight road team that I've picked to win. That's why I was debating. But we're going to go Oregon State. I think they have the more experienced quarterback. Well, obviously. But I think they have the better quarterback in this game. I think DJ Uiagalelei is better than Cam Ward in some aspects. I'm going to take Oregon State by a final score of 27-24.
So 2 Oregon.
That one was bad.
That was rough.
So 2 Oregon State, 1 Washington State.
Oh.
I'm writing down the minutes on that one so I can go back and watch that. All right. Next up, Philly.
We've been split on every single game so far.
Indeed.
Next game we got number 18, Colorado, up against number 13, Oregon. This one is in Autzen Stadium. Matt, what you got?
I think the loss of Travis Hunter is going to affect this Colorado team
Drastically.
and I think it's going to be for the worse. Is that how you say that? For the worse?
Yeah.
I got Oregon winning at home. I have a great game from Bo Nix here. I think Bo Nix plays his best game of the year against this Colorado defense. Maybe not his best game of the year because they won 81-0. I think 81-7. Whatever. I have Bo Nix playing a great game, having one of his best performances this season. And I'm gonna go 37. I'm gonna go a little 35-28 game here.
All right, if you saw one of our old podcasts, I think it was maybe 6 or something like that. We were talking about Colorado over TCU. I said that this Colorado team has a chance and has potential to potentially be a 10-2 team. I think if they do end up getting that 10-2 record, then this is definitely one of their losses. And even if they don't get a 10-2 record, I think this is going to be one of their losses. Give me the Oregon Ducks here. I don't think that it's going to be... How do I say this? I don't know. I'm going to word that differently. I don't think Oregon's going to win this by a lot. I think that Colorado is going to keep it close despite the loss of Travis Hunter. But I think Colorado is going to keep it close for most of the game, and then they can't hang on in the fourth quarter. So give me Oregon 24-14.
Pretty low scoring, in my opinion, for a game like that.
I'm thinking the exact opposite. I'm thinking we see some good old-fashioned Pac-12 football right here. Not very great defenses.
What time is this game at?
3:30.
Oh, I wanted some Pac-12 at night action.
Ole Miss is at 3:30. UCLA is at 3:30. Oregon's at 3:30. Anyways, I'm going Oregon 47. Colorado 41. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. High-powered offense. Shadur Sanders versus Bo Nix just going at it back and forth.
47-41?
47-41 Oregon.
Big shootout.
All right, and most likely the game of the week. We got number 6, Ohio State, traveling on the road to South Bend to take on number 9, Notre Dame.
This is a game we'll talk a good amount about later in the next segment.
After upset of the week.
Indeed. All right. I'm gonna go with the Buckeyes. Not surprised. Well, would you go against Michigan in your game this year? Exactly. Thank you. I'm gonna go with the Buckeyes here, and I would go for Michigan if I thought they were gonna win. But you will go against Ohio State if they played Rutgers, and that's just how you are, Luke. That's just how you are. Yes, it is. Thank you.
I only said Youngstown State. And I was just.
Homie, you didn't even know who that dude was.
Did he even play?
He's hurt. Anyways, what's the score, Matt Pat?
I got the Buckeyes here with a victory. I think it'll be a 27-14 win on the road in South Bend, Indiana.
Okay, Luke.
Both teams have looked great this year. Notre Dame got their season started off hot, red hot against Navy, 42-3 victory. Ohio State been playing all these teams well that they've been playing great. I do think that the home field advantage will make a difference in this game. I think that it's kind of funny that Maddyx said I would always go against Ohio State, and I said I wouldn't go against Ohio State if they played bad teams. But I'm going to go against Ohio State here. Give me the Notre Dame Fighting Irish winning this one in South Bend. Ohio State will keep it close. Kyle McCord turns it over late. Notre Dame is going to get this win. Give me 38-31.
Dang. I'm actually going to go the complete opposite direction. We're going to go with the Buckeyes. I think McCord's going to have a breakout game. I'm going to take Ohio State 33-17.
See, I could see this game going either ways. I can see a world where Ohio State wins this, and I could see a world where Notre Dame wins this. It's very hard to pick in this game. But, yeah.
But, yeah. Let's go.
All right.
That's home field advantage?
Yes.
I mean, theoretically, yes, it's home field advantage.
Their
All right.
stadium gets taken The stadium of Notre Dame gets taken over by the other team whenever they play it.
On to the upset of the week. I'm going to start this one off. I think that the upset of the week...
You deserve that.
I'm going to go Clemson over Florida State.
Woo!
I did not like Florida State's performance last week. They came out? I can't talk today. They came out a little lackadaisical.
Bro, no one uses that word.
Yes.
Nobody.
They came out a little lackadaisical against Boston College in their red bandana game. Only won by 2. I didn't like that. I'm taking Clemson as my upset team of the week. Luke?
I think for my upset of the week, after that tough loss to Missouri, I think Kansas State is going to try and bounce back. But UCF, the University of Central Florida, the Knights, are gonna get this victory over Kansas State.
Hey!
And I'm actually gonna go with UCF winning this one. I think that the University of Central Florida, the Knights, are gonna get the win over the Kansas State Wildcats. Big win for the Knights. That's all I got. Maddyx.
Well, Luke, they're supposed to win if you pick them as your upset team.
Okay. Moving on. Yeah, moving on to me, you little goof, you little goober. Alright, I have the team ranked number 16 right now in all of college football. Keep in mind, we are saying this before new rankings have officially come out.
They should be coming out soon.
Yeah,
real soon.
Came out on the podcast.
Where'd you see that? Huh? They are out? Wait a minute.
Let me finish this and we'll go into that. Oklahoma, 14-point favorite in this game I have the Oklahoma Sooners losing to the Cincinnati Bearcats. Bearcats have the game at home here. Oklahoma traveling to Cincinnati. I have Emory Jones having a decent game, but I have the run game being the difference in this. Cincinnati's run game is good, and I have the Bearcats winning and beating Oklahoma at home. Or Cincinnati's at home. I don't know. My brain's not working right now, but I have Cincinnati beating Oklahoma. That's my upset of the week. Thank you. And AP Top 25.
I got it pulled up right here. This is a little wonky. I'm not.
Holy fart.
I don't. Luke might like this.
Michigan's 1.
You want me to go 1 to 25 or 25?
1 to 25.
Number 1, we still got the Bulldogs. Georgia staying there. Number 2, we have Michigan. We got some movement at 3. Number 3, we have Texas moving up. Number 4, moving down from number 3, we have Florida State, so they just flip. Number 5, USC stays on their bye week. 6, we got Ohio State. 7 is Penn State. 8 is Washington. 9, Notre Dame. 10 is Oregon. Oregon is up to 10.
Nice.
11, Utah State. Whoa, my gosh.
I sure hope not.
11, Utah. 12, LSU. 13, Alabama.
Whoa.
14, Oregon State. 15, Ole Miss. 16, Oklahoma. 17, North Carolina. 18, Duke. 19, Colorado. 20, Miami. 21, Washington State. 22, UCLA. 23 is Tennessee. 24, Iowa. And 25, Florida.
Oh, yes, sir, Lukey. The 10 ranked Gators.
Hold up. Let me pull up who's receiving votes and who dropped out and whatnot. Because I did that last time. What did he just do to you? Come on out, you rapist.
He showed me the entire thing,
bro. Alright, receiving votes. Clemson, Missouri, Kansas State, they fell out. TCU, Fresno State, Kansas, Tulane, Kentucky, Maryland, BYU, Wisconsin, Syracuse, Louisville, and Auburn. So the only teams that dropped out and came in, Florida came in, Kansas State dropped out. Alright, on to, did you get your upside of the weekend?
sir.
On to,
You heard it, right?
Michigan recap. Yours was Cincinnati, wasn't it? Matt Pat, wait, no, I think we should go first this time. We play Rutgers.
Yeah.
His team plays Notre Dame.
All right.
Last week, obviously, still a solid win. 31-6 final score.
Looked a little rough in the beginning there. There was some turnovers, some fumbles. I mean, if we're looking to be a team that's national championship caliber, we've got to play better than that. I mean,
we looked a little rough the whole time.
It's not that we had a terrible performance. It's just that we could do better. We could have definitely done better than a 31-6 win over Bowling Green. Probably could have been 41-6 or even more than that, possibly, had we not turned the ball over so much.
4 turnovers and still winning by 20 plus.
Yeah,
good.
That's good. Defense.
These numbers to the defense.
Obviously, defense showed up today. Yesterday. Defense showed up per usual for the Wolverines. Offense looked a little rough. Work on that.
All right. This week, the battle of the undefeated teams. Michigan and Rutgers.
Jeez.
Whoa, dude.
Hope Michigan does not lose.
If Michigan loses this, I will...
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do, but it won't be good.
I don't think they'll lose, but...
Michigan, 85% chance of winning this one, giving Rutgers 15%
McCarthy
chance.
obviously has to chill out on the throws a little bit.
Yeah, JJ...
Make some better decisions, throw some better balls. He doesn't have any of those turnovers. But I'm taking Michigan by a good bit this game.
Yeah. Same here. I got the Wolverines. Yeah.
Now, I'm going last here because we have a way bigger game. So, last week, Western Kentucky, and it was a test for our defense. the best team we've played. Well, besides Indiana, the best offense we've played. That all they love to do is stay in the shotgun and throw the ball. One of two teams that have not been under center yet this season. Stay in the shotgun, even on like 4th and 1, they'll stay there. They just
Who's
love
the other
slinging the
team?
ball. They love screens. They love throwing it.
Who's the other team?
I don't know. Final score of 63-10. Our defense looked great. With 8 minutes left in before half, it was 14-10. At halftime, it was 42-10. That shows you how explosive this offense can be. And Kyle McCord played his best game yet. You agree? He looks great.
But then again, it's probably the worst defense he's played.
Yes, that defense, all they want to do is get turnovers and get their offense back the ball. It's literally what their head coach said. So they are unorthodox. And moving on to Notre Dame, Ohio State. Notre Dame has played 4 games so far this season. It scared me because I saw their stats and I was a little concerned. But they've played a game more than we have. Our Indiana game was kind of like their NC State game. It was the best game we've had, and they've had the best teams we've faced yet. Both teams not really played anybody good to this point. It's on the road at Notre Dame. I think Ohio State fans are going to show out, and they're going to take over that stadium. I think you'll hear the OHIO chants in the crowd. Obviously, still being on the road is going to be an advantage for Notre Dame, or being at home is still going to be an advantage for Notre Dame. But I already said the Buckeyes are going to win. I think our run game did a lot better last week. They were able to run the stretch run. Still think they need to go in between they need to run it more in the inside than the outside some, because all we like to do is run stretch runs, but our line isn't crazy good this year, and I like our run game in this game. I think if we stop, I think if they stop Estime, I think if we stop Estime and we force them to pass, that we're going to be fine. And I think that's the point of the game. We got to stop Estime. We got to force a turnover. That has to be our goal, is to get turnovers. Turnovers are going to be the difference in this game. We got to keep the ball in our hands and get the ball back and get our team off the field. Get the ball into Marv's hands. Get the ball into our playmakers' hands. Get the ball in the playmakers' hands, and that'll handle business. That's all I got.
All right, well, that's all we have for this podcast, episode number 8. We thank you guys for watching. We appreciate every single second you watch this and all the posts you like and share and whatnot. We'll see you on the next one.
Adios.